In this final video in the Unit Planning series, we will review the differentiation, resources, and reflection sections of the unit plan. The aim of all aspects of the MYP is to increase access and engagement for all students by identifying and removing barriers to learning, and to create a learning culture that supports all students in reaching their full potential. This aim will be evident in the school's campus and classrooms, policies, teaching practices, and in many different sections of each unit plan. In the differentiation section of the unit plan, it is helpful to identify the specific strategies that are used to help all students succeed, and the strategies targeted towards students in the current class with specific language and learning needs. Remember that you may need to consider differentiation strategies that can provide extra learning support and/or learning extension, depending on student needs and the content of the unit. In order to clearly describe the specific differentiation strategies used during the unit, it may be helpful to organize this section in 3 categories: unit content, learning process, and assessment task product or outcome. As you develop and identify strategies, you can think about questions such as: how will specific aspects of unit content be presented in different ways to allow for multiple entry points and levels? How will specific learning engagements be designed to accommodate the specific learning needs and preferences of current students? What aspects of the assessment task will be open-ended to allow for student choice and differentiated demonstrations of learning? Instead of simply providing a list of generic types of differentiation, it can be more effective to identify the differentiation strategies in terms of their specific application in the unit. Including specific details can provide a clear written record of the strategies used and could foster a more unit-specific, individualized approach to differentiated instruction. The resources section of the unit plan also benefits from a detailed written record of the variety of resources used in the planning and teaching of a unit of inquiry. In this section of the unit plan, there are 2 categories of resources that can be identified: resources that teachers use during the teaching process, and resources that students can access independently for learning support or extension. Just as in the differentiation section, it is helpful to include specific descriptions and thorough references or links for all resources listed. In addition to print and digital resources, people and places can also be identified. Guest presenters and community environments and facilities can add real-world authenticity and varying perspectives to the learning experience. To finish the series, let's have a look at a critical component of the MYP unit planning process: reflection. This section is vital to helping you think about your learning and teaching priorities prior to teaching the unit, observations during teaching, and finally reflections after teaching the unit. The questions suggested in MYP from Principles into Practice may be a helpful starting place in inspiring a range of practical reflection considerations. Remember, however, your reflection should be more than simple short answers to a preset question list. In order to be impactful, they need to be thoughtful, meaningful, and useful in the current and future teaching of the unit. This video concludes this series of unpacking the MYP Unit Planner. As supplements to the more detailed guidance provided in other IB MYP publications and resources, we hope these videos have been informative and will continue to be helpful in your unit planning journey.